Most people aren't stressed, they're controlled. Controlled by a look, a comment, a text left unread. And if a stranger can hijack your mood in 3 seconds, you don't have peace. You have a remote control, and somebody else is holding it. Tonight I'm going to show you how to become the kind of man who can't be emotionally manipulated. Not numb, not cold, not alpha cosplay. Untriggerable, unbuyable, unshakeable. The kind of man who can walk through disrespect, chaos, and pressure and stay in command. Because if you're rebuilding your life, your money, your body, your future, you cannot afford emotional slavery. You can't build a new life with an old nervous system, and you definitely can't build wealth with a mindset that can be baited like a fish. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The world doesn't control you with chains anymore. It controls you with buttons. Your pride, your need to be liked, your need to be right, your need to be seen as good, your need to win arguments with people who will never pay your bills. And the moment someone finds your button, they can steer you. So let's talk about the first breakthrough, the one that changes everything. 1. Your triggers are not about them, they are about you. When someone insults you and it burns for hours, that burn isn't coming from their mouth. It's coming from an unhealed place inside you, a place you've been trying to hide, a place you've been trying to outrun. The man who can't be manipulated isn't stronger, he's clearer. He sees what's happening in real time. He hears an attack, and instead of reacting, he asks one question. What part of me is this touching? Because here's what most men don't understand. If it didn't hit something inside you, it wouldn't stick. A random stranger can call you ugly. If you don't believe it, you keep walking. But if you have a secret insecurity, you'll replay it for days. That's the mechanism. And once you see the mechanism, you stop blaming people for pressing buttons you installed. Let me give you a real-world example. A man I coached, let's call him Marco, was rebuilding after a collapse. Lost a job, debt stacked up, confidence gone. And every time his brother joked about him being behind, Marco exploded. Not just annoyed, exploded. He'd start a fight, storm out, then sit in the car shaking. He thought the problem was his brother's disrespect, but it wasn't. The problem was that Marco secretly believed he was behind. The joke didn't create the pain, it revealed it. So I told him, if a man can make you react on command, you are his puppet. And Marco hated that sentence, which proved it was true. Now listen, this is not about becoming passive. This is not about letting people walk on you. This is about separating signal from noise. Signal is feedback that helps you grow. Noise is emotional bait designed to control you. A disciplined man can tell the difference. Which brings us to the second breakthrough. 2. The gap is where your life is rebuilt. Most people live like this. Stimulus to reaction to regret. Someone says something, you fire back. You feel powerful for 10 seconds. Then you spend 10 hours cleaning up the damage. But there's another way. There is a gap, a fraction of a second where you can choose. And that gap is the birthplace of discipline. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is a pause. It's the ability to delay reaction long enough to pick a better response. If you can't pause, you can't lead yourself. And if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead a family, a business, or a future. So here's your first tool. Simple, brutal, effective. When you feel triggered, do not speak for 10 seconds. Not because you're weak, because you're training command. 10 seconds feels like nothing until you realize most men ruin their lives in 1 second. A text sent in anger, a comment made to prove a point, a purchase made to soothe insecurity, a relapse made to escape a feeling. The gap is the difference between a man who rebuilds and a man who repeats. Now the third breakthrough is where the power really shows up. 3. People don't attack your strengths, they attack your open wounds. If someone can shame you into acting out, you're not free. If someone can disrespect you into losing control, you're not powerful. If someone can praise you into betraying your values, you're not disciplined. That means your mission is not to win social battles. Your mission is to close the wound. Because the wound is expensive. It costs you focus, it costs you sleep, it costs you consistency, it costs you money, and it costs you time, the only currency you can't earn back. Every time you spend an hour angry at someone, you just donated an hour of your life to a person who isn't building yours. Let that land. Now I want to make this practical, because I don't make videos to sound deep. I make videos to change what you do tomorrow morning. So here's the Rewired reality framework for becoming untriggerable. The 4-step immunity protocol. Step 1. Name the button. When you feel the spike, anger, embarrassment, jealousy, say it out loud. This is my button. Not their disrespect, not their stupidity, my button. And then label it. Is it approval? Is it rejection? Is it feeling behind? Is it feeling powerless? Is it feeling invisible? If you can name it, you can train it. If you can't name it, it owns you. Step 2, locate the story. Triggers are powered by a story, a sentence you repeat in the background. I'm not enough. I'm losing. They don't respect me. I always get treated like this. That story is the program, and if you don't rewrite the program, you'll keep rerunning it. So ask, what story did I just tell myself? Then ask, is that story true or is it familiar? Most men don't live in truth, they live in familiar pain. Step 3, choose the standard response. This is where men separate, because anyone can be calm when life is easy. But can you be calm when your ego is bleeding? Write down your standard response to disrespect. I don't argue. I move. I don't explain myself to people committed to misunderstanding me. I don't trade my future for a moment of relief. Standards are pre-decisions. You decide ahead of time what kind of man you are, so you don't have to negotiate with emotions in the moment. Step 4, convert the trigger into training. This is the secret. The trigger is not a punishment, it's a map. Every time you get triggered, you found a weak spot. And weak spots are where you train. If rejection triggers you, train rejection. Apply for things, post content, start conversations, take shots you might miss. If disrespect triggers you, train composure. Walk away, keep your tone steady. Let your results talk, let your silence do the violence. If jealousy triggers you, train focus. Use envy as a compass. If I envy it, I want it. Then build it. Not with talk, with reps. That's immunity, not spiritual, not mystical, mechanical. Now, here's the part that separates information from transformation. 4, immunity has a price. You lose the right to blame. When you become untriggerable, you lose your favorite drug, excuses. Because once you realize nobody can make you feel anything, you're forced to face a terrifying freedom. If you're miserable, you can't outsource it. If you're stuck, you can't point at someone else. If you're not disciplined, you can't blame motivation. If you're broke, you can't blame the economy forever. Yes, the world is unfair. Yes, people betray. Yes, systems are rigged. But the untriggerable man has one obsession. What can I control today? Because control is not dominating other people. Control is owning yourself. This is why emotional immunity changes your money too. Because most financial decisions are emotional decisions. People don't go broke from math, they go broke from feelings. Buying status to cover insecurity, spending to numb stress, gambling because they feel behind, quitting because they feel offended, avoiding hard work because they feel judged. If your emotions can be hijacked, your bank account will be hijacked too. Now let's talk about relationships, because this is where men get trapped. 5, Drama is a control system. Some people don't want peace with you. They want access to your nervous system. They poke, they withdraw, they test you. They provoke you into proving your love, your loyalty, your masculinity. And if you react, the game continues. Because reaction is oxygen. The untriggerable man doesn't feed it. He doesn't shout, beg, explain, or chase. He watches patterns. He names reality. He sets boundaries. Not from anger, from clarity. Here's a line you need to tattoo on your mind. If someone can control your mood, they can control your behavior. And if they can control your behavior, they can control your life. So yes, be kind, be loving, be patient, but do not be programmable. Now I want to address a fear that comes up when men hear this. They say, if I stop reacting, won't I become cold? No, you become clean. Cold is shut down. Clean is present without being possessed. You can still feel sadness without self-destruction. You can still feel anger without violence. You can still feel disappointment without collapse. You become a man who can feel without being ruled. That's what emotional maturity is. Not never feeling. Feeling everything and staying the driver. Now let me give you a simple daily practice. This is how you build this skill for real. The daily untriggerable practice. 5 minutes. 1 minute. Replay the last trigger. What happened? What did you feel? What did you do? 1 minute. Identify the button. Approval, rejection, shame, powerlessness, name it. 1 minute. Identify the story. What sentence did your mind scream? Write it down. 1 minute. Rewrite the story into a standard. Example, old story, they don't respect me. Standard, respect is earned through consistency. I stay on mission. 1 minute. One action to close the wound today. A hard conversation, a workout, a budget decision, a content post, a task you've avoided. That's it. 5 minutes. But done daily, it rewires you. Because your nervous system learns what you repeatedly prove. Now I want to end this with the final truth, one that will either offend you or free you. 6. The man you're becoming cannot afford your old identity. Your old identity is reactive. Your old identity needs to be understood. Your old identity needs to win. Your old identity needs to punish people with silence or rage. That identity feels human, but it's expensive. And it's the reason you keep starting over. Rebuilding means identity death, not poetic death, practical death. The death of the version of you that needs emotional chaos to feel alive. If you want a different future, you need a different nervous system. You need a different standard. You need a different man in the mirror. So here's the challenge. The next time someone tries to trigger you, don't react. Observe. Name the button. Find the story. Choose the standard. Convert it into training. And watch what happens. Because when you stop being manipulable, people can't control you with shame. They can't control you with praise. They can't control you with fear. They can't control you with your past. You become dangerous in the best way. Not dangerous to people. Dangerous to the old life that kept you small. And that's what rewired reality is about. If this hits you, I want you to do one thing right now. Comment Untriggerable if you're done letting other people drive your emotions. And if you want the next video, where I break down the exact daily discipline system to rebuild your body, money, and focus, subscribe. Because big changes aren't built on big emotions. They're built on small choices made consistently. You don't need a new year. You need a new standard. And it starts today.